The seventh time Lance asked me to get hitched, he specifically told me to wear a wedding dress and put on the ring. I waited from dawn till dusk only to find out that his little prank was being live-streamed all over the city with a drone. Lance had his arm around his childhood sweetheart, smirking at his buddies behind them. See, I told you she'd do anything I told her to. Pay up, losers, $100 each. Then he gave me a look like I was a joke. Relax, Zoe, it was just a gag, okay? You're not gonna get all worked up about it, are you? Daphne needed some footage for a story and you were the perfect guinea pig. I knew you were desperate, but damn, your family's broke. Who else would even look at you? The whole crew erupted in laughter, then they all wandered off. I forced a smile, pulled out my phone, and dialed his arch nemesis. The marriage registry closes in an hour. Wanna get married? There was a pause on the other end of the line. Then came a deep voice laced with amusement. Are you sure you got the right number? Hey Zoe, this is Gus, not your boyfriend. Lance. I glanced over at Lance, still laughing it up with his darling Daphne, and the pain inside me was almost numb. Ever since Daphne, Lance's childhood friend, came back from studying abroad 3 years ago, Lance, who used to be crazy about me, suddenly became a totally different person. He used the excuse of gathering material for Daphne's reports to make a fool of me again and again. This was the 7th time, and it was going to be the last. This time I was done with him. It's you. Are you game or not? You got it, babe. I'm on my way. As I hung up, a drone shoved its camera right in my face. The jeering laughter of Lance and his bros crashed over me like a tidal wave. Come on, is she still playing the victim? Get a close-up. Let's see how good her acting is. Whoa, she's almost convincing. Lance, faking annoyance, walked over to me and blocked the camera. That's enough, guys. Didn't you see she's wearing a wedding dress? She would be so embarrassed if you ruined her show. More laughter. I stared coldly at Lance, shaking, unable to speak. He was the one who insisted I wear the dress, and now he was using it to mock me. Lance turned and saw the ring on my finger. He burst out laughing. No way, Zoe, did you actually buy a ring? You're even more marriage hungry than I thought. Tell you what, let's make you famous today, get you trending as the despo bride. You should be thanking Daphne. Without her, you'd never have a chance to show your face on camera. Daphne, Lance's beloved Daphne, grabbed my hand, wearing a look of fake concern. Come on, Lance, cut it out. Zoe just likes you and wants to get married. What's so wrong with that? Zoe, don't take it so hard. These guys are just a bunch of overgrown frat boys. Today was mainly for my story, a social experiment. Really, I said it wouldn't be good for your image, but he insisted my material was important. I couldn't say no. Daphne's words were soft, but they painted Lance as a saint and me as a fool. With one sentence, she had Lance using me as a zoo animal in front of the marriage registry for the sake of her so-called news story, and she even invited drones to livestream my humiliation all over the city. The Lance who would drive all over town in the dead of winter just to find me a discontinued lollipop was gone. 3 years ago, I pulled my hand away. I never said I was marrying him today. Zoe, stop trying to save face. Your dad's in jail and you're still acting like you're some kind of queen. Here's an idea. How about Fat Tony marries you? Then we can all hang out sometimes. That way you won't go crazy from not seeing me. He's a man, at least. You should be happy someone wants you. Stop being so dramatic. As Lance spoke, he pushed a short, fat man with acne all over his face to stand next to me. Then he stared at my reaction, his eyes full of malice. So he knew how I felt about him. I knew Fat Tony. He was one of Lance's cronies. He'd spent a few years in prison for sexually assaulting a girl and had just gotten out a few days ago to please Daphne and show his loyalty. Lance was actually trying to set me up with this creep. I clenched my fists. No, thanks. My fiancé will be here any minute. They all froze, then burst into wild laughter. Fat Tony was laughing so hard tears were coming out of his eyes. He looked at me like I was a delusional psycho. Lance waved his hand and motioned for a few drones to come closer, ordering them to film my face from every angle. All right, everyone, take a good look at this face. This is the most desperate woman in town. Zoe, you got some kind of problem or what? You are so desperate to get married. It's driving you crazy. I saw Fat Tony pull out his phone and point the camera at me. The livestream comments exploded with insults. OMG, how embarrassing. She shows up in a wedding dress and ring, trying to force someone to marry her. Anyone in the chat interested in picking her up? If you like girls who give it away for free, this is your lucky day. This kind of girl is too clingy. Marrying her is a bad idea, but I'd be happy to pay $100 for a night. Isn't her family broke? Everyone, let's support her side business. Fat Tony grinned, showing off his yellow teeth as he read the comments. Even my dad saw the news from his jail cell and called to scold me for being shameless. Even if our family starves to death, we'd never do something like this. Trying to force a marriage on livestream at the marriage registry. You get your ass home right now and stop embarrassing us. Are you out of your mind? Wanting to get married? Daphne has a real job and looks so much better than you. What do you have to offer? How dare you even compete with her? I admit, the real reason I wanted to marry Lance in the first place was because of my family's situation. That's why I was willing to be played by him over and over again, even after I knew he was using me to please Daphne and provide her with news material. I still showed up every time. At first, I'd get angry. Lance would look at me coldly and say, it was just a joke. Can't you take a joke? Gradually, I became numb. I always knew that Lance's friends looked down on me, thought I was a leech. Before, Lance would defend me. If anyone said anything bad about me, he would jump in and argue. Now, he was leading the charge in mocking and making fun of me, all for Daphne. He even wanted the whole city to see. Actually, Lance and I had known each other longer than he and Daphne had. We'd all grown up together, and Lance used to despise Daphne. He thought she was fake and manipulative, but somewhere along the way, Lance started ditching me for Daphne. Last year, I took time off from work to come back from out of state and throw Lance a surprise outdoor birthday party. I worked for 3 days straight, my hands frozen, but Lance used the party as a chance to get down on one knee and propose to Daphne, declaring his love for her in front of everyone. I stood in the snow, tears freezing on my face. Everyone was cheering for them while I stood outside the crowd, feeling like a joke, just like now. But the difference was, I was sure I wouldn't be alone this time. I took a deep breath and smiled slightly at the camera. Welcome to my wedding. My fiancé will be here any minute. Please be patient. My words were like a stone thrown into a pond, causing ripples everywhere. LOL. Is this girl delusional or what? Who's gonna marry you? One of the guys in the livestream. Show of hands. Who wants to marry her? Type 1. The livestream was flooded with no, no, no. As everyone afraid of being associated with me. Lance crossed his arms, looking at me with a mocking smile. Zoe, if you take the show too far, you might not be able to walk it back. Go on, tell us who your fiancé is. Some cheap actor you paid a couple of bucks who is important enough to make us wait. Lance pretended to blame my fiancé for making him wait so long. He was actually mocking me. Everyone laughed again. I couldn't curled my lips slightly. Gus Caldwell, the CEO of Caldwell Corporation. Lance's face changed, then he burst out laughing. Have you been drinking again? Even if I tried to give you to Gus, he wouldn't even look at you. Daphne smiled, wearing a helpless expression. Zoe, stop acting tough. Is it so hard to apologize to Lance? We were just doing an experiment today. You're just wasting everyone's time. Everyone agreed. Yeah. Is it so hard to admit that no one wants you? Either you get down on your knees and beg Lance to forgive you, and we'll cancel the live stream, or you can marry Fat Tony live on camera. I think it's a great idea. Fat Tony understands women. They all laughed lewdly. I clenched my fist tightly. I told you, my fiancé will be here soon. Lance waved his hand, had someone bring a chair, and helped Daphne sit down. If that's how it's going to be, don't blame me for embarrassing you in public. Lance lit a cigarette and blew smoke in my face. Daphne coughed, and he panicked and threw the cigarette away. Daphne, I'm sorry, I forgot. You don't like the smell of smoke. I'll quit. He quickly had someone buy wet wipes and mouth spray from the convenience store. Cleaning himself up, I suddenly found it amusing. I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. Whenever I smell it, I cough violently, and I've coughed up blood several times, but Lance never cared. When I complained, he got furious. It's my only vice. You want to control that too? You really think you're my girlfriend? If you don't like it, leave. After that, I stopped saying anything. Lance seemed to find it funny that I was holding back, and he often blew smoke rings in my face on purpose. Not only that, but he would have people close all the windows and doors, and his friends would surround me and smoke. He called it a smoke off, and he would make me pick my favorite and least favorite cigarette. When I picked the one that made me cough the most, he ordered everyone to smoke that one, making my eyes red. I ended up going to the emergency room that night because of an allergic reaction. 20 minutes had passed since my appointment with Gus. I knew Gus was always on time, so I wasn't worried, but they thought I was putting on an act. He's real.